So we're going to look at a quick review of permutations and combinations. So first of all, what is a permutation? So we know a permutation is an arrangement of something into a sequence or into an order. So for instance, if I had three things, A, B, and C, and I wanted to put them in order, so I could have A, B, C, I could have A, C, B, I could have B, C, A, I could have B, A, C, and then I could start CAB and CBA. So altogether, there are 6 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 ways of rearranging 3 things like A, B, C. Put them into order, which is exactly what a permutation is. Now, of course, this has a formula. And we know the formula is NPR. Let's put it into a different color. NPR equals n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. And that is the formula we're looking for every time we do permutations. Now, what does n and r stand for? Well, n would be the overall number of something we're looking at, and the r would be how many we want to put in order. How many to put into order. So one of the favorite questions is how many ways can 3 people line up for a photograph? We've actually already done this. Look, with A, B, and C. We can call these people A, B, and C. And we've proved over on the left-hand side here there are 6 ways. So we know there's 6 ways. But of course we want to use the formula just in case this number gets bigger and bigger. So how many ways would 10 people line up for a photograph? Well, okay, we know there's 3 people in the overall group. So that's equal to n. And we know that 3 people were looking to take part in the photograph. So r is 3. So we're looking for 3p3, which equals 3 factorial over 3 minus 3 factorial. And that works out to be, well, 0 factorial is 1, and 3 factorial we know is 6. Remember, 3 factorial equals 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. So how many ways can 2 people out of the 3 line up for a photograph? Well, it's very similar. So we know that n is 3 because that's the overall number, and we know that r is 2 because we only want 2 people line up for a photograph. So it's going to be 3p2, which is going to be 3 factorial over 3 minus 2 factorial. And 3 factorial is 6, and 3 minus 2 factorial is 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1, so the answer again is 6. And we can prove it. Look, we can have A with B, B with A with C, C with A, and then the last 2 is B with C and C with B. So it's exactly the same number, 6. So this question says, how many ways can 7 people line up for a photograph? Well, we know that 7 people would look like this in a photograph. These are all the chairs. And we know that A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So therefore we know it's 7 people in the whole group. And all 7 are in the photograph. So 7p7 is 7 factorial over 7 minus 7 factorial, which we know is going to be just equal to 7 factorial, which equals 5040. So how many ways can 7 people take a photo if A, B, and C must sit next to each other? So let's just do our 7 seats again. So A, B, and C must sit next to each other. That means we've got 1, D, E, F, and G can be rearranged in 4 factorial ways. Now A, B, and C can actually sit in these 3 seats. A could move along to this one, so you take these 3 seats, and then these 3 seats, and then these 3 seats, and then lastly those 3 seats. So altogether they can move along 5 spaces. So therefore this is times 5. And then A, B, and C themselves can be rearranged in 3 factorial ways. So therefore this is times 3 factorial. Okay, when we had 2 people sitting next to each other, it was times 2, but it's actually 2 factorial. So for 3 people, they can be arranged in 3 factorial ways. So this is 5 factorial times 3 factorial. 5 factorial we know is 120. And times 6 is equal to 720. So another good question, how many ways can 7 people take a photo of A, B, and C must not sit next to each other? Well, it's actually quite easy because we know that the answer to this one was 5,040. So altogether equals 5,040. Sit together, this is A, B, and C, equals 720. And then not together will be those 2 subtracted. And 720 from that is 280, 4,320, I think. Now, remember, not together doesn't necessarily mean A like that. What it could be is all 3 not together. So it could be A next to B, then a gap, then C, and then the other 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it doesn't mean that this means that all 3 will not be together, but it could be that A and B are together, B and C, but not all 3 at one time. So 4 different questions here that we can go through. Let's just put a little blackboard under each one. So question 1, how many ways can 8 people go for the position of president and vice president? So we know that N equals 8 and R equals 2 here. So it's just NPR, 8P2. 8 people going for the position of president, vice president, and 2 people were put in order. Basically, you've got president and vice president. You could have A go for president and B for vice president. Well, also B could be president and A could be vice president. So it is a permutation. And of course, 8p2 is 8 factorial over 8 minus 2 factorial. So 8 factorial over 6 factorial is actually 8 times 7, which equals 56. How many ways can 9 horses finish first and second? Well, again, you can have horse A finish first and B finish second, and you can have the other way around, so therefore it is a permutation. Quite easy. N is 9, because there's 9 horses in a race, and we're looking at first and second. If we're looking at first, second, and third, R would be 3, 9p3, but it's 9p2 here, so 9 factorial over 9 minus 2 factorial is 9 factorial over 7 factorial, which is just equal to 9 times 8, which is 72. Next question, how many ways can I rearrange the letters in the word Europe? Well, Europe has 2, 4, 6 letters, so I know it's going to be 6 factorial if all the letters were different. But I know I've got 2 E's here. I've got an E there and an E there. So therefore I'm going to have to divide that by 2 factorial. And 6 factorial we know is 720. And divided by 2 equals 360. And the last question in this type of questions is I'm going to take 2 letters here from Europe and put them in order. So as there's 2 E's, what we do, when we put the 2 E's together and then put the other letters like that, and we group the E's together. So really we say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, and we're choosing 2, so it's 5p2. But then don't forget, I could choose E and E as my 2 letters, and there's only one way of putting that, because I reverse it, it's still the same thing. So it becomes plus 1. So it's 5 factorial over 3 factorial. Let's do that again. Plus 1. So 5 times 4 plus 1 equals 21.